into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. We got Joe Rogan's longtime friend may become president. Not in 2024, but 2028's a possibility. Even after that, it's become a serious possibility. I'm talking about Tulsi Gabbard. She just made a huge announcement, and there are some historical things happening this election. I mean, this is the election where Kamala is the most fakest candidate we've ever seen, but also on the other side, there are some crazy things going on right now, and this is just one of the many. Listen to this.
Now, to those of you here or those watching at home who are independent-minded people like myself, who love our country and are committed to the Constitution and to freedom, the Democrat Party has no home for people like us. But we do have a home in the Republican Party where we are welcomed with open arms by President Trump and so many of you who love our country. And it is because of my love for our country, and specifically because of the leadership that President Trump has brought to transform the Republican Party and bring it back to the party of the people and the party of peace, that I'm proud to stand here with you today, President Trump, and announce that I'm joining the Republican Party. I'm joining the party of the people, the party of equality, the party that was founded to fight against and end slavery in this country. It is the party of common sense, and the party that is led by a president who has the courage and strength to fight for peace. So, as we stand here today, we have 14 days until the most historic election of our lives. And my message to my fellow Americans, regardless of your political affiliation, now is the time for us to stand together to save our country. There is nothing less than that that's on the line. A vote for President Trump is a vote for a big open tent party that welcomes people from all backgrounds and all walks of life. A vote for President Trump is a vote to express our deep love for our country and our appreciation for our God-given rights and freedoms enshrined in the Constitution. A vote for President Trump is a vote for secure borders and safe communities, and a vote for President Trump is a vote for peace here in America and around the world.
There you have it, guys. Tulsi. She's been independent for a long time. She was Democrat for a long time. And now she is a Republican. Now, I know you're thinking like, whoa, well, why are you saying she might become president? Man, she just positioned herself perfectly. This is a perfect position. We're going to play some Joe Rogan clips, of course, him talking about Tulsi Gabbard, him talking about her being president. First, let's just play Trump's reaction to that whole thing, though.
I didn't know that. Thank you very much. Tulsi, that's great. Wow, that was a surprise. That was really, she's been independent for a long time. It's a great thing, a great honor. Thank you very much, Tulsi.
Man, she didn't even tell Trump. That's amazing. But this is a great position. You have to understand, okay? Now let's just jump over to to Joe Rogan talking about Tulsi a whole bunch. Okay, I got a few clips of that. But the fact that she was a Democrat, she's someone who woke up to the absolute ridiculousness of that party, then became independent, then realizes that Trump is the one to be beside because he's for freedom and peace and he's doing all the right things and Kamala Harris cannot be in power. She goes and joins that whole historic coalition, and now she's announced she's a Republican. We'll get into it more, but this is absolutely amazing. I think that we could see Tulsi on a card, maybe not as president, maybe vice. We could see her on a card 2028, 2032. I think if there's going to be a female president, I think it's going to be her. I think she's going to be the first one. I don't think Kamala's going to be that.
So in 2019, our pal Tulsi absolutely nuked her in that second debate. And if you looked at charts at the time, she's kind of, Officer Harris is like doing okay. First debate, she comes out, Joe Biden, you're a racist. The Democrats were looking for an alternative to Bernie Sanders that wasn't Biden. She starts going up in the polls, right? Second debate comes out. Tulsi, being a good Hawaiian, knows how to roast the pig, just completely slams her. Not only that, she has no counterpunch. She goes on Anderson Cooper and she's like, well, I'm a top tier candidate, so of course people are going to take shots at me. That's her answer. She immediately starts going down in the polls. It's that day. You can see it on the chart I have on my Twitter. All the articles at the time that did an autopsy on Kamala Harris's failed campaign didn't mention Tulsi once.
Yeah.
It was BBC, LA Times, Reuters, New Yorker. A guy from the Washington Post just did a piece looking back on her campaign, didn't mention Tulsi either.
Wild?
They completely pretend it didn't happen.
Well, it just shows you that what they're looking for is not what they say they're looking for.
Yes.
Because she is a strong woman. She is a person who served overseas twice. She in a medical unit, so she got to see people blown up by the war. She was a congresswoman for 8 years.
Yeah.
She is a person of color. She's everything you want. All those things you want.
But
and yeah, you don't want her.
Because she's not for war.
Yes.
'Cause
Well,
she's
she's
not for the
also
mission.
just not willing to play ball. There's a game that's being played. And if you're like, hey, you're not supposed to move the ball. Like, oh, look at this over here. Like, get out of here. You're going to up our game. It's not real democracy. It's controlled parties.
So there you have it. Joe Rogan talking about her. Just so you know, that little blip that he just said about she is a strong woman, all that stuff, they actually, MSNBC took that and actually made it seem like he was talking about Kamala Harris, funny enough. Now, here's another clip of Joe Rogan talking about Tulsi and this historical coalition, and then we'll get into the last one of Joe Rogan talking about a female president and how that should be Tulsi Gabbard. Let's go.
One of the things that people are so excited about with this Trump union with Tulsi Gabbard and Robert Kennedy is that you're having these movements that seem to be almost impossible to achieve outside of an outsider, like the Make America Healthy Again concept. Like, what are you talking about? You're going to go up against these companies that have been donating to these political parties forever and have allowed them to have these regulations that are allowing them to have these dyes in food that's illegal in our neighboring Canada? Like, what? No one's done that before, right? So that's very exciting.
Okay, so
One of the things that people are so excited.
And now we go over to him talking about her being a female president. This is American flag Joe. Let's go.
And rightly so, and accurately.
I think she's on the wrong. I think she's on the wrong side. I think she's in the wrong party.
Think she should be a Republican?
I do. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why? She has all these democratic ideas, though.
Yeah, that's true. But given the way the Democratic Party is going now, I think she's far too sensible for them.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think they'll come around.
Maybe so.
If she doesn't win this term, she will be president someday, I think.
Okay.
I really do.
Yeah, I watched your watched and listened to your podcast with her, so that was interesting. I've seen a few. I saw that one. I saw the Andrew Yang one as well. And
I think it would be awesome if we had a legitimate badass woman president. I think she's the one. I think she can do it.
I think it'll certainly happen eventually, no question. I don't know next time. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like to make public predictions. I do think if things keep going the way they will, I do think Trump will take it fairly easily. If things don't change,
if they let Joe Biden get to the front, Trump's going to win.
Yeah, Trump will eat him.
Yeah, he'll chew him up. Yeah. Calls him Sleepy Joe. Trump will be grinding his teeth and spitting out fillings. I mean,
yeah.
Hey, man. And Trump is a funny guy. He says funny shit.
That's funny.
He knows how to shut people down. Did you see the thing that he did?
Zuby
And
with the prediction. Wow. I skimmed through this clip because I thought it was mostly Joe, but Zuby comes in with the prediction that Tulsi needs to be a Republican. That's amazing. I have to tag him. I actually have to tag him. I have to give him his respect. Zuby with the prediction. There we go. This is incredible. Can't believe this. That was in 2020 he said that. Man, he was right. 100% right. But again, this is why I think that she may become, again, if there's a female, I don't know what's going to happen. Vivek steps up, JD steps up, RFK steps up. I mean, it'll be a fight, you know? But if there's going to be a woman, now that she's a Republican, I think there's a lot of people there, because people aren't going to forget how much she backed Trump when it seemed like every single media outlet and force was against him. She stood up and said, I'll take the slings and arrows. I'll take being put on the terrorist watch list. I'll take it all if I can just support Donald Trump, and started campaigning for him hard. Listen to this.
Because our opportunity is rooted in our responsibility as American citizens to remember that our founders told us that our government exists only with the consent of the governed. That's us. Everything that we are seeing happening now, the weaponization of government entities, the censorship of free speech, the political retaliation against those who have the audacity to criticize those in power. They are throwing everything that they can at us to undermine our democracy because they are terrified of what a free people in a free society will do to uproot them from their power and bring our interests to the forefront once again of freedom, peace, and prosperity. So I hope you feel hopeful as I do, that as we are surrounded by hate, we confront hate with love. That as we are surrounded by darkness, we confront that darkness with the light of the truth and common sense. And that literally, as we are surrounded by warmongers rapidly beating their war drums, we stand strong and speak with clarity and courage for peace.
Now, I only play that to just show, this pretty presidential, man. She has a lot of these speeches where you hear her talk and you're like, oh, she's almost... Here's what I'd say. I say she's not quite on the level of Vivek. Vivek will step up and you just know this is going to be perfect. I don't know what he's going to say, but he's going to say it perfectly. That's what's up with Vivek. And with JD, it's kind of the same thing, and it's almost a little grittier with JD if you've been watching him lately. But she's right up there with those two. I think if there's going to be a female, there's no one else. The Simpsons said Ivanka in 2028. You can never dismiss the Simpsons, okay? They've predicted a lot. They predicted Trump down the staircase, Trump touching the ball with all of those people around him. They've predicted a lot, so I won't doubt them, but I think it might be her. Here's another example of her just speaking truth to power so well.
It is not, when people in the mainstream media talk about the elections and election fraud and, outside forces coming in and trying to undermine and usurp our elections. They obviously never talk about themselves and how much propaganda they put out to create this facade of a democracy where essentially they work with the power elite in Washington from one party or another, and they basically decide, hey, here's the people that we're okay with voters being exposed to. These are the acceptable people, and here's the people who are unacceptable to the elite, and therefore we got to destroy them. And this is what I went through when I ran for president in 2020, the Democratic primary. From the very first day I announced through the entire campaign, it was already decided that I was not a candidate that they found acceptable. We are seeing and so they did everything they could to discredit and smear and, media
Hillary
blackouts
Clinton was
and all
saying
this.
You were a Russian asset.
Exactly. And no member of the media ever said, oh, really? What evidence do you have of that?
Right.
They just they repeated the line over and over and over again, and it worked. People believed it.
Yeah.
And you're seeing the same thing happening now with RFK. They decided, hey, this guy is speaking way too much truth, and so we're going to do everything we possibly can to block voters from hearing him, and we are going to try to smear and discredit him with lies so that if they do hear him, they're not going to believe what he says.
Now, the reason I play that one is because what Joe said. She's been called a Russian asset just like Trump. By Hillary Clinton, just like Trump. Put on terrorist watch list. She's had all the things happen to her that people on the right, or at least people with common sense, are looking at now and going, hold on, this is really unfair. She's being put through the ringer, not like Trump, but very similar. So a lot of people who are going to vote, if she's running, would identify with that. Plus, she was right along with Trump. A lot of people are going to identify with that. I don't know about you, but I've been thinking about, since Trump has been running, it seems like he's going to win. It's not a lock because people still got to vote and they still got to count the ballots. And some states are saying it's going to take us 13 days. And it's like, okay, odd number to pick, but sure, fine, all good. So it's not a lock. But I've been thinking the whole time, who's going to take over after Trump? Trump's a step in the right direction, but he can't fix the entire country overnight. It's going to need somebody else who has the same type of values, another 4 years, possibly 8 years, to really put America in the place it needs to be, to really correct all the things that the Biden-Harris administration has done. So who's that going to be? I think Tulsi has a great chance. And on top of that, on top of everything, okay? And I will say, just to add in at the very end, the Democrats, when she was running, they had more control. Same with RFK. RFK was running as a Democrat. They were like, well, we're going to do this. And they screwed him over left and right. They did the same thing with her. Like she said, they decided she was not the person. That was it. Now, that same thing won't happen to her with the Republicans. The Republicans will look at her way better. Again, because she's taken the slings and arrows. She stood right beside Trump. She's a part of his transition team. She's helping RFK right now assemble the people who are going to be at the heads and, really draining the swamp. She's there now doing it. She's basically in Trump's I believe she's in Trump's cabinet. She's helping him with debates. People are going to remember this. Republicans are going to remember this. So, very interesting stuff. And then on top of all that, when's the last time you seen a president look like this? I'm not even talking about hot. I'm just talking about big old gun. Looks like she's at the range. I mean, that's pretty American. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I just wanted to speak my piece there. Big announcement. Congratulations to Tulsi. Congratulations to the entire Republican Party, because they need somebody like that. She's level-headed. She's female Vivek. If I had to just break it down simply, she's female Vivek. Imagine her and Vivek on a ticket. Her and JD on a ticket. Her and RFK on a ticket. RFK makes the same announcement a few weeks from now, and he's a Republican too, and they run together. It's done. Anyways, guys, just wanted to bring that to you. Like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, helps the channel tremendously. And other than that, I'm out.